Oh, this one sucked. And no, before we get into this, we shouldn't tank. We shouldn't trade anybody. Nobody should be fired. The world is not going to end because we lost one game by a good margin. Guess what? That's going to happen. We shouldn't rebuild. It'd be easier to have a better team with what we have now than just trading everybody away. No, the narrative will never start that this team is going to win without Sabonis and Brogdon because they're taking us down. Because as we've seen tonight, because we didn't have Sabonis and because we didn't have Brogdon, we sucked. I mean, that wasn't the only reason, but we sucked. Just getting those out of the way. The defense, only part of it was the reason we lost. There were times where we had solid stops on defense. Our shot blocking ability, yeah, that was not very good, especially after Miles left the floor. That sucked. Every time he leaves the game, we always just suck with interior defense. That's another thing that, should go on his DPOY campaign is every time he doesn't play or every time he leaves the floor, our interior defense is absolute garbage. However, Keelan Martin actually has some solid defense. The guy has hops. He can get blocks. He can play good perimeter defense. He can contest three-pointers. I feel like his defense is kind of underrated. Um, we got steals. We got a good amount of steals. I mean, when you have guys like T.J. McConnell, Keelan Martin, Justin Holiday, Jeremy Lamb, those guys can get steals, and they're good at it. So we were getting stops, especially there at the end. We were getting stops. It's just when we get into the offensive part, yeah. But when Miles did leave, we sucked interiorly, so they scored a lot of twos as well. And yeah, we just weren't very good. And with Domas not being there and Brogdon not being there, we were missing a good amount of rebounds from our lineup, and some size from our lineup. So it was definitely difficult, and we didn't have as many second chance opportunities because we didn't have as many rebounds because we didn't have Sabonis there. And Brogdon, who's actually a pretty solid rebounder. So that just wasn't there. It's not, them being injured isn't the complete and total reason we lost. I mean, we saw against the Spurs, we won, we played good. But that was because everyone was clicking and everyone was making shots and everyone was playing defense. This one was not the case. There were multiple people who just had the whole day off because they just couldn't make anything. I'm not saying they didn't play or whatever. I'm just saying mentally they were off. They didn't do anything. Their game was off. Let's go on to the offensive segment. So in the offense, not having Brogdon and Sabonis definitely help us. I know some people say we shouldn't run our offense through Sabonis, and I agree. We definitely shouldn't run our. Really, the only person who should be having the offense ran through them is either Brogdon or LeVert. Brogdon not for scoring, but for creating shots. LeVert for scoring. But Sabonis should still get the ball in the post because he can still score. He shouldn't get the ball in the post every time. It's just he will get it in the post because it will look like he's more open than he is because he's big and he can back down people in the post. So he might get a few more touches than he really deserves because of that. But he should still get a good amount of touches because he can still score and he's still consistent in there. So I don't think we should be running the offense through Sabonis, but I do think he should be getting similar amount of touches. He should still be averaging like 20 points per game. He's still good at scoring. Offense just shouldn't be ran through him. But tonight, we would get a defensive stop. We'd go down to the other end of the floor, either turn it over because sloppy passes, sloppy ball handling, and just not having good court vision, or because we couldn't make a shot. Court vision would have been helped with Malcolm Brogdon. Making shots would have been helped with both Brogdon and Sabonis. And we couldn't really get second chance points. Would have been helped by Sabonis. He can get tip-ins. He can get offensive rebounds. He's very good at that kind of stuff. We couldn't capitalize. And it wasn't good. However, O'Shea Brissett did get in, and he was actually kind of solid. For the few minutes that he played, he was actually decent. I enjoyed watching him. Maybe he can get in there a few more times and get a contract. Who knows? But I don't think that the Bulls are a better team than us. I just think we wanted to lose the game more than they did. If both teams were healthy and all their guys played to the full ability, the Pacers would have won. We have more firepower, we're more gritty, we have better defense. But tonight, that just didn't work out. We were injured, guys weren't making shots, guys were making bad passes. Guys were going way too in on help defense. I know when we don't have Miles, we kind of panic, but when someone drives, we don't need 4 guys there to stop the person driving. We need the power forward and the center there. We don't need Jeremy Lamb and Keelan Martin there, or TJ McConnell there. Maybe Keelan Martin I'll be fine with because he has hops and he can get blocks. But we don't need Jeremy Lamb or TJ McConnell there because there are multiple times where guys would drive and 4 people, almost the whole team, would just converge on that and leave the rest of the Bulls wide open on the perimeter, and then the guy would kick it out to someone on the perimeter and they make a 3-pointer. It wasn't our night. It sucked. In summary, like I said, our defense, it was on and off. Our offense, it was on and off. It wasn't good. At some points it was there, some points it wasn't. It just didn't work out for us tonight. Tonight wasn't our night. Sucks. I definitely think we should beat the Timberwolves. If we don't beat the Timberwolves, I'm going to be very mad. Might have an aneurysm, who knows? I do know that we should have won this, but we just didn't try. Everybody's game was off. And I hate that injuries are ravaging this team when we should be way better than we are. And I hate that we have to wait until next season we will probably keep this same team. Everybody's probably getting re-signed. We're probably going to have the same team. And then the same criticism will come upon us of, oh, because they didn't make some flashy move in free agency, they're going to suck. Before TJ Warren got injured and all these injuries happened, we were doing very well. TJ Warren is a big part of the offense. There's no getting around that. But we are just going to have to wait another season to see this team fully healthy and see what they can do. If we make it to the postseason, we're going to have to wait until then. And we're going to have to face another offseason, as everybody's saying, because we didn't make a flashy move in free agency. We're not going to do well because that's all the media wants to talk about. The flashy moves. Did you become better, even though we have a team of mostly young guys who progress a lot, as we've seen with Goga and Sumner. And Brogdon's got better, Sabonis got better, Miles got better. Those guys are still young. Most of our starting lineup is a bunch of young guys. So we don't necessarily need to sign some flashy free agent in order to get better over the offseason. because our guys are progressing. We're developing our rookies. We are taking a very hockey and baseball approach at building our team. It's a long-term approach. It's building guys through the minor leagues. It's building guys at the end of the bench. It's building up our younger guys. It takes a while. But it's better than intentionally sucking, because then you've just given up. You have no dignity as a franchise. You have no respect. I know most people that wouldn't matter. But to me it does. Because I've supported this franchise all my life. I've followed this franchise all my life. I've fought to try and show people that we should be respected. If we're intentionally being terrible, you can't do that. If we are developing our young guys, like teams like the Raptors, it took them a while, but they got there because they developed young guys. That's how we just have to do it. We're never going to get a high pick. We're never going to get a flashy free agent. We're never going to make a big trade move. But we are going to draft. We are going to draft smart. Because despite what people have been saying, we actually are a smart drafting team. Mainly in the second round, not in the first round. Unless we have a lottery pick, our first round pick is going to suck. But our second rounders are good. Well, actually, Goga is a good first round pick who wasn't a lottery pick, who's been playing very well. But Sumner is very good. Stanley is very good. Elias Johnson, as we've seen, is very good. We should have kept him. We just need to trust our player development a bit more. That's all there is to it. It's a long-term process, and I'm willing to wait for it. But nobody else probably will be. And I know I'm going to be the only one supporting that decision. So that's my hill I'm going to die on, along with Miles as Defensive Player of the Year. TJ McConnell is Sixth Man of the Year. Karis LeVert is not 100% yet. He's still kind of injured, and he's strung together a few 20-point games, and he's going to be good. Domantas Sabonis is an all-star, and Malcolm Brogdon should stop playing hero ball. Those are all the hills I'm willing to die on for just the Pacers alone. I got a lot of hills. And I'll probably die on a lot of them, too. That is what it is. See you guys next time. As always, I'm not funny, and be patient.
Love on each other, as in, like, tell each other they love. I don't know, like, who the person is, so, the fuck you doing? The fuck you doing? Dumbass.